Hello. Betty, I presume?
Yes, officer. What do you know about my husband?
We're working on it, but we're going to need your help. Could you describe for me what you saw last night?
Well, I was coming home from a meeting at Town Hall with my friend Lorraine.
And what time was this?
At around 6:30, I suppose. Anyways, we pulled into the house, and I saw three men. One of them was being dragged by the two. It was Walter.
How tall were they?
A couple inches taller than my husband. He's about 5'9".
And their ages?
Couldn't say.
What about hair color, ethnicity? Something distinctive about these men. We need something to start with.
I remember one of the men had a limp, if that helps.
Well, it's better than nothing. We'll keep you updated, but in the meantime, you should get some rest. You had a stressful night last night.
I'll try.
Oh, by the way, your friend Lorraine, is there any way we could talk to her?
Yes, of course. She'll be by this afternoon.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any leads, boss? No, not yet. What really baffles me about this case is why this average middle-class man was the victim of such a brutal crime. Beats me. Doesn't look like a guy who gets into a lot of trouble. That he doesn't. Listen, I think we need an outside opinion. An outside opinion? Yes, we need...
Detective Peter Mason.
Operator, get me Peter Mason.
Oh! Hello?
Yes, Detective Mason. It's Constable Scott from the police department. Is this a bad time?
Yes?
Ah, well then, I'll be brief. Last night, two masked men kidnapped a man from his house.
That's a shame.
Yes, it is. We were hoping you wouldn't mind lending your expertise to help solve this mystery.
Well, Constable, I really wish I could help, but lately I've been swamped. So now, I think I'll go to sleep.
Wait, Mason. It was Walter Payton who was kidnapped.
Walter Payton?
Don't you remember him? You two were practically inseparable in high school.
Indeed. Well then, I'll take the case.
Ah, yes, those were the days. Everything seemed so much simpler back then. As time goes on, things make less and less sense to me. Speaking of time, I didn't mean to ramble on. So, I assume you still remember the address. Mason. Mason! Oh.
If I didn't care more than words can say, if I didn't care, would I feel this way?
Ah, Peter Mason, up before noon. I must be coming down with something.
This is no time for your silly jokes, James. We have a case to attend to.
Case? Well, what is the nature of it?
An old friend of mine was kidnapped last night.
What kind of a man is he?
Certainly not the type to be kidnapped. Now come along, James. We have work to do.
If I didn't care.
Who do you think could have done this? You know Walter a heck of a lot better than I do.
It's best not to speculate before you are presented with all the evidence, Baker. Otherwise, when you are, personal biases come into play, which inhibit your thinking process, of course. Ah, here we are.
Ah, you're here. Mr. Baker?
Good to see you again.
About what time did the crime commence?
Miss Peyton arrived here about 6:30 last night, just in time to see her husband carried off by 2 masked men.
Of course, Mrs. Peyton. It's so wonderful to see you again. Tell me, what does Walter do for a living?
Well, he runs a small business outside of town.
What kind of business, if I may ask?
He's a mechanic. He runs a garage.
And how long has he run it for?
If no one minds.
About 5 years now.
If no one minds, I'd like to check the room.
By all means.
Anything else he does for money?
Well,
From what I hear, he's quite the investor.
how? Yes, but how did you know?
Why else would Walter be reading the financial section of the newspaper? You see, the paper is creased, and some of the ink is smudged. Sweaty hands, no doubt. I'd say Walter was pretty worried about what he saw.
I know he invested in a brewery. It's called Goodingham or something.
Gooderham and Wards. I know that place.
How do you know that place?
It was near there that Mason and I made our first arrest together. By the lake, I believe.
Indeed it is. I hope you don't mind, I'm going to take the newspaper. I didn't get a chance to read the funnies.
Certainly.
We'll keep in touch, Mrs. Peyton. Constable, good day.
Don't worry, we'll get your husband back. Good day.
Everything should be fine.
Should be fine?
He probably isn't dead.
Probably?
Lady, what do you want from me? I'm trying my best, okay?
There. It will all be okay.
I'm a horrible police officer.
I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure a lot of people like you.
No, they don't. They hate me. They call me fat, they make fun of my clothes and my odor.
Hello?
Walter Payton?
Excuse me?
I need to speak to Walter Payton.
Walter?
This is Walter Payton.
I know for a fact that this is not Walter Payton.
Walter Payton was kidnapped last night. What do you know about it? Hello? Hello? He hung up on me.
I cannot believe that you screwed up the only chance of finding Walter. You really are a horrible police officer.
Well, everyone else thinks I'm awesome. I don't care what you think. A second chance. Look, you son of a... Where's Walter Payton? If you don't tell me, I swear I'll come there.
Constable?
Baker.
That's an odd way of answering the phone.
Well, how's the investigation going?
We're just about to check out Gooderham and Wards. How are things going there?
Nothing.
What happened?
Well, just a few minutes ago, we received a call from a mysterious-sounding person. He was looking for Walter Payton.
Naturally, you managed to get the address.
No.
A name?
Nope. I messed up.
I should have known. Now what you're gonna do, you're gonna call the phone company and figure out the address of the phone that just called there.
Say, that's a fine idea. I never would have thought of that.
I know. Mason and I will be by after we pay a visit to Gooderham and Wards. Stay with Mrs. Payton. What were you doing in there?
I was admiring their cigars.
I just got off the phone with Constable Scott. Mrs. Peyton received a strange call from somebody looking for Walter.
Does he know who it was?
No, he's calling the phone company now to find out. He'll let us know as soon as he does.
I hope we have better luck here than most other places we've been to.
Let's find out, shall we? Excuse me.
Darn it.
Officer, let me help you. Ah, Walter Payton. I was just about to ask you about him.
Walter Payton,
What about him?
You may have heard. He was kidnapped from his house.
Oh, really? That's a shame. I always liked him.
You two were close?
Not really. It was more about a professional relationship.
Oh, really? Betty told me otherwise.
His wife said that.
No, but it seems you're not being honest about your relationship with Walter.
Did you know that he owned a shop?
Yes,
And when was the last time you were there?
yesterday, I believe.
And what time was this at?
Between 5:30 and 6 o'clock.
Oh, really? Because just an hour after your visit, Walter was kidnapped from his house.
Really? Listen, gentlemen, I have an appointment on the other end of town. Sorry to be more help, but I really gotta go.
Oh, his paper. Mr. Johnson, wait!
Well, this certainly changes things. We have to get back to the house, Baker. Let's go. Damn it, Baker. We've got 3 suspects. One, Betty, who may be accused of framing her husband to be kidnapped and get her money. We've got Mr. Johnson, who we interviewed. And we've got that other young fellow who I attacked on the street.
Milkman, yeah.
Yes, the milkman.
Yo, that's the thing though, it could be any of these two guys. Rob, you got a haircut?
Yeah.
He got a haircut! Oh my goodness! Ruin, why?
This is what you get. You can make this work. We can make this work.
I can't work under these conditions!
That doesn't make any sense. You guys are amateurs. No, no, this is a real. Not again. Why?
Hello, Mr. Straight up, no easy way to say this, but we ran out of time.
Yeah.
So I hope you accept, as a token of appreciation, these special effects.
Enjoy.